Hi, Peter Charles here, folks, for Life Fly Fishing. And today I'm out with the Loomis ShortSpey in the 3-weight version, the 31111. And this is the Loomis version of a trout spey. So I'm out in the Grand River, and but I'm not in the trout section. We're in smallmouth water, and I'm hoping to pick up a smallie today as an example of what the rod will do. And just for fun, I got my first fish on a fly over 50 years ago, and it was on a black ghost streamer. So, and it was a smallmouth bass, so I'm hoping to replicate that today. I've got a black ghost on here. Who knows, maybe the local smallmouth won't like it, but we'll give it a try. So, let's get going. The other thing I'm finding that works really well, oh, got one. I'm just letting it hang in the current, and it grabbed it. Oh, decent. Now we're getting to find out what this rod will do for fight. This is a good fight on this fish. Oh, it came off. That was a half-decent fish. Amazing, that hit came right on the hang down. I'm just letting it dangle in the current. We've got a really good downstream wind blowing now, so give you an idea how well this will handle the wind as well. Okay, I'm going to try a different run here. And some of you have seen my Ask with 9-foot 5-weight video will recognize this run. I had a fish fest that day. Couldn't do anything wrong. I mean, everything I threw at the fish, they hit it. So we'll see if I get as lucky with the fishing today as I did that day. Hopefully at least one, right? But you've already seen this rod, how it handles a fish, even though I didn't land it. So here's some fun. I'm going to try a single spey with an intermediate, no roll cast. I think that's a good indication of what the rod will do. There we have a snake roll, left hand, full intermediate line, no roll cast pickup. So you can see what the rod is doing. I'm using a full intermediate line. The head is 33 foot long. I'm leaving the head out of the guides, and I'm picking the whole thing up. Single spey, roll cast, double spey, doesn't matter. I'm picking it up without a roll cast and launching it. So it gives you an idea of the rod's capabilities for handling sinking lines. It'll do it just fine. So let's move a little further down the run and have another go. I'm a little further down the run. Now, something I should mention in this run, you don't want to cast too far. There's shallow water over there, so I'm keeping my casts, in that 50, 60 foot range. Otherwise, I'm going to into the rocks over there. I can actually swing the streamer in here. I'm not going to do too many single spays. I got a downstream wind. Be pushing my luck. I should be safe with a circle spey though. There we go. Easy peasy. It's lovely, lovely casting with this line. I'm really, really enjoying this combination. So keep that in mind. This is the 3-weight Loomis ShortSpey, the 31111, and I'm using a 7-weight airflow beach line intermediate on it. And you can get a floater version too, and it has a spey-like front taper. If you're familiar with the 40 plus lines, it's similar. Okay, this run doesn't go on for too much further, but we'll give it a try here and see what happens. There's enough current that I'm just swinging the streamer. I'm not stripping it very much. That fish up there proved that they'll hit it on the dangle, but it doesn't have to be moving very much in this current. Also, where I'm pulling it up, it's deeper water too. I could end up with a fish picking it up right in here. Like I said earlier, there's rocks over there. I don't want to cast too far because I will be putting the fly into the rocks. It's a lovely smooth casting rod. Very delicate, very light. I mean, when you're talking about a trout spey, you don't want to be out there with a heavy stick. You don't want to be out there with a rod that's going to make you work. You don't want to be out there with a rod that when you hook a fish, a 10-inch trout, you're going, you know, is that fish or is that weeds? You know, so this is not that kind of rod. It's nice and easy casting. And when you get a fish on it, it puts a serious bend in it. I'm casting more downstream right now because, as I say, I don't want to get into those rocks. So I'm just coming across, almost like I'm fishing for steelhead. And we'll see if I can work something on this side here. There's sometimes fish just on this side. Well, it looks like I jinxed myself talking about my Asquith movie, because I haven't even had a hit. There we go. That was, a good 80-footer. So that, I would say, is a nice, comfortable maximum for the rod. I think, you know, you could probably get a bit more out of it on a Spey cast. I have full confidence that if this was an overhead cast, I'd get a lot more out of it. But also keep in mind, the line itself is designed as an overhead line, even though it has a Spey-like front taper. So it is reasonably optimized for Spey casting, but not as well optimized as, say, a Scout line would be. But nevertheless, you know, 80-footer, I mean, we're going to complain, really? And this is an ideal streamer line. No, there's no fish in this run, or at least none that are interested. So, oh, I see minnows being chased further down. You know what we're going to do? We're going to move down about 20 feet. I just saw a minnow jump out of the water. So let's go down there. All right. Let me just move down a bit. We'll see if we can pick up something down here. No, nothing. Oh, just spoke. Oh, looks like a half-decent bass. Spoke too soon. Oh yeah, that's half-decent. I thought I saw minnows being chased down here. Now, you stay out of the camera, all right, fish? Maybe he's not as big as I thought. When he jumped, I thought it was a bigger fish. Oh, look at the bend in that rod. Whoa. Yeah, he's not big at all. Geez, I thought he was big at first. But look at the bend he's putting in that rod, and this is just a small bass. Come here. Ah! Come here, you little guy. Okay, it's official. I will definitely would not be worried about using this for your average trout. Come here. Oh, good Lord, he's probably not even a pound. You got me all excited for nothing. There we go. Just a little guy. Well, we got one fish on camera anyway. Let's see if this is the second one. When he came out of the water, I thought it was a bigger fish, but I guess he just looked big. Wow, what a fight of a little bass on this rod. Okay, it's definitely official. I would definitely not be worried about using this rod for your average 10, 12-inch trout. They would be an absolute hoot on this rod. Absolute hoot. Let's see if there's one more. That fish came with the fly almost dead downstream, just like the last one. So that was misleading. At first when he jumped, I thought it was a decent sized fish. And then when he got close, I realized it wasn't that big, but the fight on this rod made it feel a lot bigger than it really was. So, you know, this is really a good option when you're in a river situation where the fish aren't very big. You know, I'm thinking of our Grand River at the top end where they stock 10-inch fish at the beginning of the season. Well, you get one of those 10-inch fish on this rod, it's going to be fun. One more. Well, that was encouraging. I think what we'll do is we'll just move the camera down a few feet and I'll work the back end of this. Okay, now I'm positioned to be able to work the back end. And we'll see if there's a fish down here. I'm going to shorten up the line at first so I can work a little shorter. And then just let more line out and go a little bit further downstream with each cast. Okay, I've stripped a few. In the next cast, I'm just going to let it swing. There we go. They seem to like it moving more slowly. Maybe that was my problem. My presentation was a little too fast. Oh, I love the bend these fish. I'm going to move out a little bit so see if you can see the bend this fish is putting in this rod. And this is not a big bass. It's not a big one. But look at the bend. There we go. And swinging seems to be the answer. I didn't like it stripped. Overhead cast with one hand. When you got a light two-hander, what I'm doing is bracing the bottom hand against my forearm. Also swinging, I'm probably getting a little deeper, and that may be helping too. I'm a little worried now, considering the bend. Those, you know, they're barely a pound, those fish. And they're putting a big bend in this rod, so I'm a little nervous if I get a 2 or 3 pounder, because there are some fish that size in here. That would get exciting. That one, got one. He hit it twice. Oh, he's off. He pecked at it and then he whacked it. Again, just letting them swing on the dangle and they're hitting it. So that when I was stripping it before, obviously it was too fast for them. So this is almost like steelhead fishing. Let it sit on the dangle for a while and the fish will hit it. It's a funny one. That one gave it a little peck and then he whacked it. Well, I think we fished this run out. I think it may be time for a coffee. Okay, there we go. The Loomis 3-11-11, the 3-weight ShortSpey, 11 foot 11 inches long, with the Airflow 7-weight beach line, overhead line, and it's a full intermediate head. And you can see the fun we had. The rod had no trouble lifting and casting this intermediate head. It could lift it out of the water without a roll cast. We could send it on its way with no trouble. So it shows you that the rod does have the backbone to lift sinking lines. So if I can lift a 33-foot full intermediate head, it can certainly lift a sink tip with no trouble, that's for sure. And my good old Black Ghost got us some fish. A little bit of nostalgia there. And you know, it's an enjoyable rod to fish. You saw the bend those little smallies were putting in this rod. I would have no worries whatsoever taking this on a typical trout river and hooking a 10-inch trout on it, because it would be fun. So I would look at something like this beach line. It's available in the floater, intermediate, and a full sinker. And you know, or there's a variety of other overhead lines you could use too. You could look at using a 5-weight Airflow 40 Plus, for example. That would be the right weight. There's a number of lines that have Spey-like tapers that'll work on this rod, and it'll give you the chance to fish in a more finesse fashion. And I mean that, I don't know what's that. I think that's a size 2 hook I've got there, 6 extra long or 8 extra long. I mean that's a good size streamer, and let's see if I can get it on camera here. I mean, that's a really good size streamer, and this line is handling it. So you don't have to think that you only can toss little dinky flies with it. You can toss a fairly decent fly if you have to. So there we go. The 31111. I mean, ShortSpey, I think it would make a perfect trout spey if you're looking for a rod around about 12 foot long that will cast a variety of lines and still make a small trout fun. Cheers.